Good afternoon, class.
Good afternoon.
All right. So, in our science, in our science subject for today, we're going to learn about great things. All right. Some new things, and we're going to start out with these pictures. But first of all, I want you to pull out a piece of paper or something that you have to write. I know you are in high school level now, so you are responsible to provide your own materials, your books and your pencils. And I noticed that some of you, they're still all right. Thank you very much, yeah. So with these two pictures, I want you all to look at it and think about two things. Two things that help the plant to live and to grow. All right. So name two things that help the plant to live and grow. I know that some of you, there are good farmers, you know. Some of you are from the islands. So easy things. If you cannot think about two, one is good enough. All right. So let's start with from the end of the table from here.
So two things I wrote is water and sun.
Water and sun. Ooh, perfect. Well, let's move on. Do you have
Yes, it is soil and sun.
soil and sun? Exactly. Oh, well, that is telling me that you guys have a very good understanding of the plant. And, what about you, sis?
I got the water and sun too.
Water and sun. That's right. Well, from what you already told me, it really ties into what we're going to be talking about today. Our new topic, what is photosynthesis. But before we move on, I want us to make sure that we get a very clear understanding of the outcomes that we're going to, make sure that we get it from the lesson today. We will be able to define photosynthesis. That's the first one. And pretty much that's the first one we're going to be talking about. And then from there, we're going to be able to draw a diagram of photosynthesis correctly depicting. All right. So just make sure you look at it and try to have it in your mind as we go through our discussion. And the last one, we're going to write a paragraph that describes the cycle of photosynthesis. Don't really overthink about the cycle of photosynthesis, because as we go through, it's going to be very simple. All right? So let's move on. Like what is already stated in our outcome, photosynthesis, we're going to define it. The very best way to get a very clear understanding of the definition is to break down this word into two parts, because it is made up of two words, photo and synthesis. But before we do so, before I move on, can anyone tell me what is the meaning of photo? Photo. Image, all right. Well, we're gonna, that's very, that's not right. I mean, that's not wrong. But we're gonna try to bring it into more scientific things, all right. So photo and synthesis. Don't worry about that. We're gonna, we're gonna get it slowly and into our understanding. That's right, yeah. So photo is light. Synthesis, in the Greek definition, or the origin meaning, putting together, right? So these are the two things that I think is going to help us as we go through the whole the complete definition. Any questions? I mean, this is really, is this clear? And I think it's very simple, right?
What do we put together? Things.
Oh yeah, putting things together. So not just light, but what you already mentioned earlier. You know, it's gonna involve water and soda. But that's part of it. But we're gonna cover that in. That's very good. We're gonna cover that in next class, right? But now we're just gonna focus on photosynthesis. Oh, it's right. Yeah, this is the complete definition of photosynthesis. Can I ask our sister here to read it for us?
Yes. Photosynthesis is a process used by plants and other organisms to convert light energy, normally from the sun, into chemical energy that can be later released to fuel the organism's activities for energy transformation.
All right. So let's go step by step so that we can make sure we get it clearly. It's the process, right, used by plants to convert. So these are very good words, the key words to convert light and energy from sun into chemical energy. So I have an equation that is gonna make it more clear. But before we talk about this equation and this picture, we're gonna ask you to help us get the clear understanding of the whole process of photosynthesis. All right, so we're gonna move on and watch the YouTube video. And again, as we watch this video, try to ask the question in your own mind. And what is photosynthesis? What is this process? What is this process, and what are the steps that are in photosynthesis that resulted in the what we already talked about there, the conversion process. Okay, wait. Sorry about that.
Do you know how plants make their own food? No? Well, this video elaborates the process of photosynthesis, by which plants make their own food. Photosynthesis is the process used by plants to make their own food, or in more complex terms, it is the conversion of light energy into chemical energy by plants. This chemical energy is used by the plants for growth and nourishment. Photo means light and synthesis means putting together in Greek. When humans cook food, some essential things are required, including fire, water, vegetables, etc. Similarly, to make their food, plants also need some essential factors, including light, water, nutrients, soil, etc. Plants get light from the sun, water from the ground, and carbon dioxide from the air. All of these factors, including air, water, carbon dioxide, and sunlight, together help plants churn out their own food. Plants have tubes called xylem, located in the stems through which the water from the ground is sucked into the leaves. This system works similar to humans sucking liquids through a straw. The xylem is spread throughout the different parts of the plant, including the stem, branches, and all the way up to the leaves. The xylem transports vital nutrients to the entire plant. Xylems in the plant are like blood vessels in the human body that act as an important means of transportation of water and nutrients. Leaves on the plant have pores, very similar to the pores on the skin of our bodies. These pores are called stomata. These stomata are responsible for the exchange of gases. The carbon dioxide present in the air, which is responsible for photosynthesis, enters the plant through these stomata. Oxygen also comes out through these stomata. Leaves have important cells called mesophyll cells. These cells contain a green-colored component called chloroplast. This chloroplast is responsible for the green color of plants and leaves. Once the carbon dioxide and the water reach the chloroplasts in the presence of sunlight, the process of photosynthesis starts to take place. The following reaction takes place in the leaves of the plant during photosynthesis. Carbon dioxide plus water in the presence of light energy results in oxygen plus glucose or carbohydrates. The products formed are glucose and oxygen. Carbohydrates, which are a form of glucose, are synthesized from carbon dioxide and water. Glucose is used by the plants for their growth. Some of the glucose is used immediately, and the extra glucose, which is not used, is stored in the form of starch in the leaves. Some amount of this extra glucose is also stored in the roots of the plants. This extra glucose is used to perform photosynthesis when there is no sunlight. Oxygen is given out into the air through the stomata in the process of photosynthesis. The oxygen that is released is used by human beings to breathe during their respiration process. Ever wondered why this process is called photosynthesis? Well, the word photosynthesis is a combination of two Greek words, photo and synthesis. Photo means light in Greek, and synthesis means putting together or combining. Hence, photosynthesis literally means combining water or carbon dioxide in the presence of light. So the essential factors for photosynthesis to take place include sunlight, water, and carbon dioxide. Underwater photosynthesis takes place at a slower pace than the normal photosynthesis. This is because energy from the sun is absorbed by the water layers and only some amount of energy actually reaches the plant. There are some plants which don't need the process of photosynthesis to grow. Such plants include mushroom, Venus flytraps, etc. Mushrooms get their food from the ground and from their surrounding areas. Venus flytrap
Does anyone want to share what you learned from the video? Yeah.
I didn't realize that plants underwater also went through photosynthesis. Like, I guess, I mean, they're plants, so they should, but I just never, like, really realized it, that they did, but they do it differently than the plants that use soil.
That's right. This is a very interesting, thing about this lesson. But yeah, that's right. Yes.
The people receive carbon dioxide from the oxygen, something they breathe.
All right. So
Carbon dioxide or oxygen?
oxygen.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna have a look at this to answer your question. We're gonna look at this picture right here. So this small plant. Look at the oxygen comes out. If you see, look at the arrow, goes out from the leaf, right? That means the waste from photosynthesis is oxygen, and the things that are needed for photosynthesis. Can anyone tell me? Like what our sister here already mentioned, the light and carbon dioxide. I'm pretty sure you already learned from your previous science class, carbon dioxide, oxygen, right? But now we are talking about the importance, to the plant and to the people. So it's pretty like interesting subject. if you look at the sun over there, the light and the carbon dioxide,
And water.
yeah, and water, they all come together and they perform a process, which is photosynthesis. And that's how the plant, yeah. But I think you get a very clear understanding of photosynthesis, right? But yes, that's very true. Interesting topic. All right. So this is the equation that I talk about. It's just the same with what the video showed us, and also what we already talked about in the picture. But I want to make sure that we, I repeat it several times so we can get a very clear understanding, and we're going to be experts on this topic. Wow. So we're going to have a quiz later on. That's why I really want to stress out this equation. Again, carbon dioxide with water and the light. It happens in the leaf, inside the leaf. There's part of the leaf right into it. They call it chlorophyll. They all get together and they perform the process, which is photosynthesis. And then from there, oxygen goes out, which human beings, which is, as we create it, we use it. And the sugar, the starch, that's what is stored for the plant to use it up as a fuel, we can call it that way, during the night when there is no light. All right. So it is pretty interesting. Wow. How are you doing with your notes? I wanna point out that writing this equation is important. The cycle. The next part, group work. Share what you have learned and ask questions. Well, the last part of this group work, ask questions, is going to come after we get into groups. So ask questions. You can direct it to your teammate, the one sitting next to you. You can direct it to me. I'm just going to go around and see if we. So share what you learn. Get into groups and. I know that some of us might get a different view, understanding of what we already watched. So it's always good to share what you already learned, right? Just gonna add up your understanding.
So like what I said earlier, he didn't know that photosynthesis went with plants underneath water, but that the radiant energy from the sun, it takes longer to reach certain plants, and the sun doesn't hit some plants because the plants are so low in the water. So I thought that was interesting.
Okay. I think how the plant grow, how it has to obtain water from the ground. It's the water is helping the plant to smooth the sugar inside the plant, just like a human being, just like us. When we eat something, we have to drink water because water helps you to flow the food easier to our blood and everything. So that's why the plant just like the plant needs water, I think. And through the sun, you can make the chemical reaction inside the plant to make the carbohydrate to make food for itself.
Oh, that's very interesting. You get a whole picture.
It's like what I think. So.
Cycle, yeah. Interesting.
I like how the video showed the similarity of the plant and the people use the straw as to suck the water.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good one because it's to visualize what it's made of once they execute the body. Because I pretty much don't understand actually when it's explained, like show a picture of the person with the show, it's kind of more understanding.
Yeah, you're talking about the excrement, not the part of the plant. But, you know, specifically in our next chapter is going to cover that, you know, more in detail. But it's good that you like it. I really like that one. All right. It looks like I already answered some of the questions, so we're going to move on to a diagram. Equation of photosynthesis. Because of the time consuming, I don't want to, you know, have you stay long, and I know some of us are very excited to go for lunch, right? So we're gonna do this as our homework. How's that? Alright. So you can go back and ask your mommy. This is what I learned, photosynthesis. It's a very, you know, new topic. And plus that, you're gonna write a paragraph. Alright, so two things. Draw a diagram or an equation of photosynthesis, and then you're gonna write a paragraph to describe it. And please include the steps, diagram if you need, you know.
So
Right.
it doesn't matter if you include the diagram or not.
Yeah. But I'm pretty sure if you included, we are in high school, so, you know, it's always, like, it's a better way if you have the picture and you interpret, you know, go more deeper than something like that. Any questions before you, I think we're all clear, so those are the two assignments, and yes.
So you'll be graded, right?
Oh yeah, this is a very big part of your grade.
So it's like part of our grade, but it's like, are you, I don't want to say like, do you testing up on the very detail that we learned today? Or just like simple steps?
Well, I don't want to make you like very stressed and you know, overthink about that. Try to make sure you give a definition and then the steps if you can do so. Right?
Okay.
So we're going to spend the whole week.
You're gonna put that on Canvas?
On Canvas? Why not? I'll put it. All right. Thank you very much, and mahalo. Thank you.